Yo guys, what is going on? It is your boy Nick from Run the Foot Market, and I am bringing you guys a formation video today. I'm bringing you guys a formation video. It's going to be a bunch of fun. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a thumbs up. Just to let you guys know, in the weekend league where I finished this weekend specifically, I finished 25-5. I had some really tough matchups. I think I matched probably 4 to 5 to 6 Elite 1/top 100 players. So, I mean, yeah, for the sweatiness, for all that, I'll take it. It's not the best. It's not the worst for me. You guys know sometimes what I am capable of. It just all depends on matchmaking and just kind of how the gameplay is. But today I wanted to make a video that's been really requested by you guys because today I got 25 wins with maybe a non-traditional formation. I mean, I don't know how traditional it is for you, but it's definitely a formation that's being used a lot in modern football, and that's the 3-5-2. I think what this video is going to be called is formations that are fun but also winnable. You know, I think that this formation is a blast. Now, you need the right players to play this formation. I'm going to tell you guys that right now. I'm going to drill that into your brains. You can't just pull up into this formation with any player you want. You need to have the right players. You need to have the right mindset of the formation. It's very football-esque, man, and it's not just something where you could do a 4-2-3-1, load up some players in a team, and then it's a standard good formation in FIFA. You've got to have the right players. So this was the team that I had used this weekend. And I'll talk about them. I'll talk about them right now as we get into the tactics. So let's show you the 3-5-2, and I'm also going to talk about the 4-1-2-2 because a lot of people have been asking me about those tactics because that formation is also very good. So this is how I played my 3-5-2. I played it at pressure on heavy touch. So what this is going to do is it's going to allow my players to not be in mud. That's why I play this, guys, because if you play FIFA 19, a lot of the times your players and your AI will feel like they're stuck in mud. For me, I feel like this kind of just takes them out of that and brings on the next step of gameplay, right? It lets them kind of move around a little bit more, has them buzzing, and although at times they do overstep on certain passing plays, I feel like the trade-off is worth it for the amount of times when I am unbalanced, where my team is just sitting in mud doing nothing because they just don't do anything. I've adjusted my width to 6. The reason for this is because I do like my left mid and my right mid to be a little bit wider. I like them out wide so you can stretch the field. That's pretty nice. And then my depth is 5. You guys know on my 4-1-2-2 narrow, it's usually 6 or 7. My depth is 5 here because I don't need higher depth here because this is a very high formation, so I don't need that. If you look at the offensive style, it's not fast build-up. It's just balanced. The width is even. Players in the box, corners, free kicks. You guys can choose whatever you want on these. I pretty much go full send on corners. I like all my players there. I like to have one player back, but I'm pretty much a full sender when it comes to corners. I'm probably going to adjust it to this. Just to the third because then I'll have that extra player around the box. Yeah, but aside from that, that's pretty good for me. So that's what I do there. And then so now we talk about the formation and the kinds of players that you're going to need in this formation. Okay, so for the cam, the striker, and the striker, I'm going to say this for you guys. For the cam position, I'm probably not using somebody that's the best for the position. Neymar is very good at cam in any formation, and he's good on anywhere in attack for anybody. My issue is with Neymar in this formation that he's high medium, which is not bad, but there's a reason why if I wanted to play Dino and Cam in this formation, I can't play Cam. I would say in this formation, there are 3 positions that are the most vital. The most vital to me, the Cam, the left mid, and the right mid. That is the key to the success of this formation. You're going to need very good players there. Now, a perfect Cam here is somebody that I have on my bench, which is Team of the Year, Kevin De Bruyne. I can't get him on full chemistry, and I wanted to use Dino this weekend for the attack to have some more fun with 3 5-star skillers. But Neymar did all right. Neymar did the job. The reason why the cam position is so important is because you guys can see right there, you have a block of 5 as your center back line, and then you have a midfield tandem at the left and right mid that will come back and help you. But the problem is then you're just sitting in a block of 7 where you don't have that supporting layer when they could possess the ball around the top of your box. So a lot of the time when somebody's playing a formation against you, whatever it is, they will have a lot of possession in front of your Hullet or your Ballack per se because you don't have a cam coming back. So you guys will see in my instructions, Neymar is set on come back because if you don't have the cam come back, there's going to be a huge open space at the top of your box and you're going to be under a lot more pressure than you want to be. So that cam is just there to annoy people. It's why you saw probably in my Foot Champions highlights on the channel, maybe at times when Neymar was starting to play and the build-up really far back. You just have to be okay with it. It's how it's going to go. It's one of the sacrifices you make. Let's talk about some of the instructions and the players. So yeah, for the left mid and the right mid, I'm going to show you guys really quickly before we talk about anything. I'm going to show you guys really quickly just my left mid and my right mid. So I'll tell you my team, who is my left mid and my right mid. My left mid is Telles, and the reason why he's my left mid is because He makes fantastic attacking runs, and this is why I believe he is better than Alexandro in this game for how I play and for the formations that I play. Sandro just can't make the runs that this guy makes. He also just can't finish the way this guy finishes. 18 goals, 43 assists in 247 games. That's huge for me, man. That's so much. Now, 2-star weak foot's not the best, but here's the important part about this card. He can pass the ball. He can cross the ball. He can defend. He's got 99 stamina. That's very important for this position. You want a player that can pass, that can score, that can have unlimited stamina, and that can defend. Defending is very important for this left mid and this right mid. So you can see here by the in-games that he's a very good player for that position. You also want somebody that's going to be semi-agile, so they can do quick turns, can go out wide, can go 1v1. And then Mateus is out wide at the right mid. And that's not that popular, but you guys can see and understand why, right? He can defend, he can pass, he can do everything. He can run, he's fast. A little bit clunky on the ball, but you know what? It's worth it with the composure, with the stamina. He gets through it. He's a fantastic right mid. Now, at the second half, what I do, guys, is I switch Mateus out, and I bring on Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling comes in and gives me some wheels here. You guys can see at right mid, he's maxed out on pace, he's maxed out on agility, he's maxed out on stamina, and then he's got low-key pretty good defensive stats for right mid. It's good enough. 60 marking, 74 stand tackling, 68 slide tackling. It's good enough. So he's enough to pester the opponent at right mid, but is definitely more attacking than Mateus. And then what I ended up doing this weekend was I put Neymar at left mid, and KDB came in and played Cam. So KDB came in and played Cam, and that's the high work rate that I'm talking about. Come back on defense, but also go forward. 5-star weak foot. I would say at this Cam position and in any formation you play a Cam, 5-star weak foot is so important to the position. And then what happens is that Neymar goes out left. Telles sits on the bench for the second half some of the time. You know what I'm saying? And then Neymar's at left mid, so he's really able to stretch. My second half for the 3-5-2 is pretty much the most all-out attack thing ever. So let's talk about some of the instructions in this formation. We've got stay back on all of the center backs. It's very important, guys. And what I would recommend to your center backs selection, as you guys can see here, I'm using Eder Militao, who possesses, I want to say like 90 pace. Maybe he's got 91 pace. Cannavaro, who's got like 83 pace but high agility. And then Dumfries, who's got, Dumfries is like 6'2". I think he's got 96 pace. So my center backs are all very rapid, and that's very important. You don't want to be using slow center backs in this formation. You want to put the slowest and the slowest usually in the smallest center back, in my opinion. I like in the middle. So Cannavaro is my slowest center back out of the three. So he's in the middle, and I like him because he's got that burst of agility and the burst of pace that he has. So sometimes you guys can see how the formation lines up, that he can boost through the middle a little bit and give that outlet pass to Hullet or Ballack to then go forward. So if the Ballack and Hullet check in on the diagonal, it's a really good outlet to use in the formation. As for the center mids, guys, we have Hullet has cut passing lanes. I do not have Hullet on stay back, but I do have him on cover center. So I let Hullet go forward, and Hullet has the 5-star weak foot, so I play him at the left central mid position. And then I have Michael Ballack, who I tried Vieira in this formation, and I freaking hated. But that's because Ballack offers more attacking for me, and that's just how I play. But I do have Ballack on stay back. Something that you guys are going to want to understand about the midfielders in this formation. You do not want to have two high-medium midfielders, okay? Hullet is high-medium, so Ballack is medium-high. You need to have a medium-high central midfielder in this formation. It is very important that you have one midfielder that can attack, but that can also defend. This is the problem with this formation. I would not recommend using Vieira in this formation. As much as Vieira is the best defensive mid in this game, the problem is, guys, you're going to have scenarios around the top of the box where you're going to get the ball to Vieira, because I'm telling you, my center mids in this formation are some of the most used and the most in attacking scenarios, 1v1 open goals that I have had in any players in this formation. They get open a lot because of the pressure of your 5 players going forward. These two end up open a lot. You do not want to have Vieira in this formation. It's just my recommendation. I know some of you may use him already in this formation. I don't like it. I think a guy like Michael Ballack is a really good outlet. I'm trying to think of other medium-high players that would be good for that position. Mateus is high. That's not a bad player. You want a tall player here that can defend, but when you get into a scenario, can score the goals, man. That is very important about this player. Ballack scored probably 15 goals for me this weekend, so that's how important he is, because I started to use this formation a little bit last weekend, and I noticed that just something was off when Vieira was in it. I had that, swing pass to Vieira, and I was just looking around the pitch like, where do I go? Where do I go? What do I do? I can't shoot with this card. So that's very important to this. Now, this is where it's going to get a little bit challenging, because the left and the right mid have a lot of instructions on them, guys. So take note of this. It's important that you guys see this. So we've got stay wide on the right mid, which is important, right? We want to keep this formation wide. We want to stretch the opponent. We've got come back on defense because they do have to come back, and it's almost like they play, again, like I told you guys, a block of 7, right? And usually I'm going to be going forward with one of the left or the right mid, so it's important that both of them are on come back because the one that I'm not going forward with will come back and we'll sit back with Cannavaro, Militao, Dumfries. A lot of the time when you watch my gameplay, you will see that when somebody has a one-on-one on the edge of the box, my right mid and left mid are covering at the angle for that player. So just something that you guys will see. Also on getting behind, right? It's important that you have that on because when you have the scenario where you're passing between, let's say, a combination of Ballack and Neymar, or you have Mbappe and you've got a double team on Mbappe, Mateus will most likely make that run down the line and give you that supporting run to drag the AI out further. A lot of this game, guys, because the AI is so overpowered, is all about dragging the AI out as much as possible. And that's why I think this formation has been so good for me. It's a fun formation to play. It feels like you're playing modern football. It's really fun to play, man. So I think it's important because you guys got to understand how overpowered the AI is this year. It is really important to try to get them out of the way as much as possible. And I think this formation does a really good job of getting the AI out of the middle. A lot of people play that 1 depth or 2 depth or 3 depth 4-2-3-1 or just a general drop back formation. This formation is going to do very well in countering a lot of that. The only formation that's going to counter this formation, I think, guys, in my experience of playing, and I don't know if this is true to everybody, is that 4-3-3. The 4-3-3 seems to really, really, really give this formation a tough time. I don't know why specifically. I'm looking into it a little bit more. Every other formation against this team, the only other formation that was a little tough against a good player was the 4-1-2-2 narrow, but that was it. And I think in the scenario like that, when you do come across that kind of team, you've got to make sure you're going wide passes. You got to make sure you're going wide. Other things that are going on in this formation, we've got Tellez on comeback on defense. That's the same thing over there as we had on Mateus. Very important because they're going to make the runs. Now, you guys can see on my cam, right? Come back on defense. Everything else, I kept it the same. Important that you should do that because this guy will drop back again, and then you have that diamond almost in the midfield with the Cannavaro. You see how you have that diamond? If you don't have him on come back, it's not going to look like that. Neymar will chill up top with these two bad boys. Now, I also have getting behind on the strikers. And to be honest, for this formation and the way that I'm playing this formation, that's not that common. People don't like getting behind because they feel like it drifts the front two players away from the cam. When Neymar's coming back and these two are getting behind, there's a big gap. There is. What I would tell you is it's very important for stretching the opponent. You're going to keep the opponent pretty far away from your midfield. So I like it because if you have good composure and if you're a good dribbler, you'll be able to keep a lot of people. You just have to focus on playing the outlet pass to the striker and not going forward too quickly, right? Holding the ball up, bringing other players into the positions, whether it's Mateus, Neymar, Ballack, right? Say I play a long ball from Dumfries to Mbappe, and it's one of those, I think it's an R1 square ball, which would be the driven long ball, right? That I'm using my L2 button for the strength on Mbappe. He's got a man on him, let's say like a center back block, and then I'm either looking for Neymar to come forward for the outlet to just keep continuing the attack, or maybe a switch to Tellez. The thing I think you'll like about this formation, guys, and I'm going to I'll show some highlights for you guys at the end of this video of what the formation can do. I think you guys are going to really, really, really enjoy some of the ways that you're able to really just kind of stretch out opponents, man. You're going to find scenarios that you're going to get into, guys, that are going to be so cool and so unique attacking-wise because you're going to have such an overload of players that I think you're really, really, really going to enjoy, guys. This 3-5-2 is so fun. And there's other players for it. Like this guy is amazing for this formation. You guys can see I've logged 48 games with him and 3 goals and 8 assists, and that's very good for a right mid, man. So the reason why he's so good is he's got the high defensive stats, he's got high agility and high balance, he's got good enough finishing, he's got good enough long shots, he's got excellent composure, excellent stamina, excellent acceleration. So a lot of the times if I'm up a few goals, I probably won't put in Sterling, right? I might put in Alexander-Arnold instead of Sterling because Arnold's going to do a little bit better of a defensive job than Sterling, and maybe I don't need as much attack. That's kind of the problem. Something that I ran into, guys, this weekend when I was playing with this team, a little bit of a problem that I had, sometimes I put an Orar with Hullet, and the issue was that they both have high-medium work rates, right? So I found that to be a little bit of like a questionable decision when I brought them in because there was just a lot of the time if you're not using a medium-high player in the midfield, there's going to be this kind of wide open, you know what I'm saying? Something else you guys can see about the kind of players that I'm using. Look at my center backs. Militao, Cannavaro, Dumfries. Take a look at this. Medium high, low high, high medium, right? I would say make sure you have two center backs that have high defensive work rates. Okay, another important thing you can see. 94 pace with 93 agility, right? 87 acceleration with 85 agility, 93 acceleration with 86 agility. All of my center backs can jump. They've got 96 jumping, 98 jumping, 96 jumping. I do not recommend using a player like Blanc. I don't recommend using any kind of center backs like that. I don't like it, man. If you're going to use a 3 center back formation, I would say use 3 players that have high agility, high pace, high jumping. It's very important that when you're dropping a defender in this formation, that you have enough of the other stats that can compensate for that. You're not going to be playing a traditional 4-back formation, so you're not going to have the security all the time of having a player out wide. So you're going to need players that have the high agility and the high balance or the high agility and high acceleration. The reason for that, guys, is because if you get beat once, you're going to be able to catch up and go again because they're so quick in their recovery speeds. That's very important. Also, because you only have 3 defenders, if you have the high jumping, you prevent yourself the best from conceding that El Tornado cross or the scoop up crosses. You know how people play this game. So that's another very, very, very important thing. Other things to talk about. Yeah, I mean, this for me has been such a fun formation. I think what I'm going to do is do a different video on the 4-2-2 narrow this week for you guys. But definitely try this formation out. I would say it's a Monday. And I know a lot of you guys say that FIFA's over. But look, there's not really another great game to play right now. So this is a fun way to play this game, man. I know this game is kind of broken. But try out this formation, man. I think you guys would really like it. I think it's just fun. You know, I think it's fun. And I think it's the summer. And I think you guys should just try out different formations. I'm going to be trying out different formations the next few weeks. But this is going to be my go-to formation for a little while. And yeah, I'll show you guys some highlights of the formation right now so you guys can see how effective it is. Thanks for watching.
Interception. Mbappe. Real individual inspiration here. Good vision. This might be.
Oh my God!
To hold the ball as the challenge came in. There's some potential in this move. It's De Bruyne. Neymar. And Neymar. Out to Neymar. Out on the flank. Mbappe. Here's a chance. Oh, it's the post. It must be.
Thanks.
Neymar. Oh, love that. The skill. Mbappe. Opportunity here. It's a goal.